Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we're going to be talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance, or KCD for short. This should be a pretty short video as I like to put in as much information as possible in as short amount of time as possible for you guys. I quickly want to tell you guys the history of the game, release notes, / features shown off, and the overall objective the game developers want to achieve and show off. First is the history of the game. Warhorse Studios actually pitched the game idea, but no one really liked the idea of a medieval game with realistic ideals rather than fantasy. So Warhorse took to Kickstarter all the way back in 2014 to show individual investors people will want to play the game, and on February 20th of 2014, it was officially funded on Kickstarter with almost $2 million raised. And you guys can probably figure out what that is as far as other currencies. Then investors stepped in and the game's funding only grew, along with a stunning 35,000 fan base of the people who invested on Kickstarter. Since then, they've only grown in fan base and numbers and overall support. Next, I want to talk about the idea or dream of the game. Really short and sweet. It is a medieval RPG with no fantasy involved. And real quick, I just want to read off of what they actually wrote on their Kickstarter page. It'll be a first-person, open-world, realistic RPG that will take you to medieval Europe in a time of great upheaval and strife. A humble, young blacksmith loses everything to war as he tries to fulfill the dying wish of his father. Fate drags him into the thick of a conspiracy to save a kidnapped king and stop a bloody conflict. You will wander the world, fighting as a knight, lurking in the shadows as a rogue, or using the bard's charm to persuade people to your cause. You will dive deep into a sweeping, epic, non-linear story from Daniel Vavra, hopefully I pronounced that right, an award-winning designer from Mafia series. Their unique first-person combat system lets you wield sword or bow in both one-on-one skirmishes and large-scale battles. All of this and more brought to life beautifully with the next-gen visuals delivered via CryEngine. So guys, sounds awesome. Really intense. One more thing I want to include, well, there's actually two more things I decided to discuss, but one more portion of the actual story, that kind of what they're going for. Our tale is based on historical events and takes place in 15th century Europe. The year is 1403, and it is most certainly not the best of times. The old king is dead and his heir is weak. The new king's brother, hungry for power, allies himself with a faction of the nobility that sees the moment as an opportunity for advancement, kidnaps the king, invading the country with an army of his own to plunder this defenseless land. The aristocracy is divided between which side to support. Civil war is coming. The hero, in the midst of this plunder and chaos, a son of a blacksmith, will emerge as a hero. His home destroyed and his family murdered by the invading army. He must redeem his failure to protect those he loved and set things right again, avenging the dead, safeguarding the kingdom's rightful heir, and restoring order will prove no small feat for our adventurer. But beware, this is not a fantasy fairy tale, and you are not the chosen one. This will be a tough, dirty job that only a champion with enough wits and strength will survive. So doesn't that sound like a story you just want to delve right into? I know that I really want to get involved in that story, and it just sounds really awesome. Even though there's no fantasy aspects about the game, just this story, just that little snippet, just makes me want to play the game already. Finally, I'll be discussing some key features of the game. I'll be reading them off from their Kickstarter page, so they may very easily could have added more, but I figure this is a good base of their key features. Non-linear story lets you choose between being a villain or a savior. Every quest can be solved in multiple ways. A revolutionary combat system based on inverse kinematics the only one of its kind to offer a rich, authentic, yet easy to control first-person melee experience, based on actual 15th century fighting techniques and designed in cooperation with medieval martial arts experts. Improve your character. Different playstyles, warrior, rogue, or bard, can be mixed and matched as you see fit. You can develop your skills, earn new perks, and fine-tune your equipment. Large, realistic, medieval-themed open-world landscape covering 3.5 square miles and 30 hours of gameplay in the first act out of 3 total. Lead the charge in enormous open field battles and sieges. You are no superhero. If you're going to take on an army of enemies, you better find one of your own to back you up. Take a trip through medieval ages, traverse sprawling cities, magnificent castles, towering dark forests, and musk-strewn villages. Discover this huge world from horseback or on foot. If you can see it, you can visit it. A dynamic world comes alive. Every inhabitant plays a role in their communities, and as night follows day, you can watch people work, help them when needed, or try to interfere in their routine and see what happens. Build relationships with characters, become a criminal or a local hero, seduce local women, threaten your enemy, or pardon vanquished opponents. Create your own weapons, cook, brew up potions, or dig around for silver. All crafting occurs in-game using clever mini-games rather than boring, soulless menus. In addition, one other thing I want to add that I did not read in that little features tab is that they also have this huge armor system. You guys watching the video in the background will notice that during some of the footage, you will see them going through some different layers of armor. And what it is, if you guys missed it, is you can have a clothing or cloth, like normal clothing. Then you can have leather, chainmail, padding, armor on the top. There's just countless things that you can add onto it. And it's a layer system for armor, and as well as you can damage it all, you can repair it all, and depending on how it looks, people will receive you differently. So if you have a very bloody, worn out, rusty armor, people will notice that, mention it maybe, or just not really talk to you, especially if they're noble. But if you have very clean, shiny, new looking armor, you're a very good looking individual, then nobles or other people will tend to talk to you more and be more open. So that's just a quick little note that I wanted to add in as well. Hopefully that explains some things for you guys to fully understand the game. Be sure to check out their website to get news, updates, and more. That will be linked down in the description. I know it was a pretty quick video. I will hopefully put little time stamps down in the description so you guys can rewatch certain things to better understand the whole entire game. But be sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed, and I'll see everyone in the next video.